What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? It's time for another episode of the Re-Up.
Re-Up.
We got a real special episode for y'all tonight. I was sitting here thinking, I was sitting here thinking about, we've been doing this for, how long, Sonia? About 5-6 years?
Yeah, this particular one, we've been doing radio even longer than that. But this particular, yeah, you're right. It's been a minute.
On YouTube, we've been on for probably about, I think, two and a half years.
Okay.
And then we took a break as we transitioned from Fishbowl Radio Network.
Mm-hmm.
And we were on there for what, 2-3 years too?
Yeah.
Okay.
True.
And then What Would Jesus Spend Now? WWJS Now.
Yeah.
We was there for a couple of months.
Come on.
So we've been doing this for a while. But I started thinking, like, we interviewed and we spent a lot of time with a lot of different people, on this show. So blessed, for it to take off and for us to have this type of platform to meet so many interesting people. And kind of hear around their background. But I realized we never really talked too much about ourselves. We never introduced ourselves too much. And all of us got some purpose. All of us got some stuff we do outside of the Re-Up. So I thought tonight's episode, since I don't have a guest, and since I don't have a topic, unless one of our audience members, comes up with a topic or something they want us to talk about, I figured we interview each other.
There you go.
Yeah. And get an opportunity to kind of share what our background is, our passion, some obstacles, some things, some testimonies, all that kind of stuff, and see where that kind of leads.
There we go.
Now we missing, if y'all notice, we missing our introduction from our special guest, and then I know Mr. Dynamite, he's trying to get in here. He says he's having technical difficulties, though.
Yeah, something's going awry.
So, that's what tonight's going to be about for the next hour or so. And, as always, we definitely want our audience participation. We want to hear from you guys, your questions, thoughts, topics that you might want to discuss. So, you can, if you're joining us on Facebook, if you're joining us on YouTube, you can
look at here.
Definitely dive in and have a conversation.
You know what time it was, didn't you? You felt it.
Listen, man, I've been trying to get this thing cracking for a minute, and I've had to resort to some tactics that I don't normally employ.
That's all right. It looked like it's working for you.
You rigging some stuff?
Yeah, he rigging it up.
You sound good. You look good.
I mean, I feel good for the most part.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you just in time, because I was just kind of updating the audience about tonight's show, right? I named it Unfiltered, the personal stories for the TheReuPLive cast members. So we gonna interview each other, man. We're gonna
interview each other.
We're gonna interview each other. Because I realized, like, out of the 6-7 years that we've been doing this, man, we really, have never really shared what we do and how we got here and how we got some of this wisdom that we like to share every week and all that kind of stuff. But, wisdom comes with falling and getting back up or applied knowledge. You know what I mean? So I thought it would be really, really fun for us to, interview each other. So who we want to start with?
We start with you, Show.
Oh, you want to start with me?
No, I'm teasing. I'm teasing.
Y'all got questions? Yeah.
Did you want to go first, Dion? Because Dion just gonna get it on out the way. Uh-oh, he done slid on off the screen.
He done slid off the screen.
I guess that's a no.
Ooh, yeah.
I guess that's a no.
So yeah, let's start with Bishop since he was the last one to pop up here. Bishop.
Come on, talk to us.
All right, so we're gonna introduce Bishop real quick. Bishop, one good leg.
Yeah.
We also have known him as AKA Mr. Dynamite.
Yes, sir.
He's a singer. He's an actor.
That's true.
He's a comedian.
Come on now.
Hey, what else, man? Host.
Come on.
Radio host. Like he got a lot of hats that he wears.
He do.
Right? Did I cover it all, Mr. Dynamite? What else you got going on?
You know, I do a little writing. You know,
Uh-oh. Come on now.
Writing for what? Come on, fill us in. Right? What you writing?
It's whatever, you know, songs, you know what I'm saying? You know, I don't go to the extent of you know, the song in terms of my poetry, you know what I'm saying? But every now and again I get inspired. I catch a verse.
Oh, okay.
Come on now.
Okay.
Boom.
You catch a verse. Now, have we heard any songs that has some Dion lyrics in it?
No,
not yet. Not yet. No, we can't hear them songs.
He said that's not for this show.
This is not the show for that, baby.
Uh-oh, he telling the truth.
So, Dion, I mean, I know you, but then I realized when I was going through some of my questions, I don't know. There's some stuff I don't know, man. So, one of the things I know we always inquire about with our guests is how they came across, how they got their relationship with God, basically. You know what I mean? When did that start? How did it start for you? Did you grow up in the church? Did you come a little bit later? Like what's your story with that, man?
Wow. I did grow up in church. As early as I can remember.
Front row? You was on the front row or in the back?
Wherever. I got in where I fit in, depending on if we was on time or not. If we was on time, then definitely closer to the front. If not, then definitely closer to the back. Don't come late trying to bring us all the way down to the front. That's
no sir.
Okay.
I don't want everybody looking. I just, the few people in the back, they turn and, that's it.
Okay.
The church van used to come pick us up and we go around and pick everybody else up and get to church. That's how I got there. We didn't have a car when I was young. So,
okay.
That was my mode of transportation.
And you've been in Fort Worth all your life, right? You Texas born and bred.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Man. South side.
South side.
Outside.
Oh, okay.
As a teenager, we used to, growing up, when I was younger, we used to go to this camp. And because I went to a predominantly Caucasian church. And
you want to shout out the church? Remember the church?
Yeah, absolutely. Shelton. It was Sagamore Hill Baptist Church.
Okay. Baptist Church. Okay.
Yeah. And
you're a good one because I don't remember the name of the first church I went to. I know it was a Baptist church, but I don't remember. I remember the pastor because I met him personally.
I remember all the names of all my churches.
Because they all had, different significance, and I saw different things in other people and in myself in those churches, and they created memories.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what I do. So, but yeah, we used to go there, and that was just like it was a week to kind of get away from everything and unplug and really get connected with God. And discover some things about God and yourself, and trying to increase that relationship so that when you come back, you can kind of share that with people and really be on fire. Power through the school year or whatever the case may be. Well, it was at that point where I started to get the nudge, you know, young teenager, you know, I started to get the feeling that I was meant for more than just, you know, sitting in the pew. And that's when I started running.
You start
The nudge equals running. Okay, I got you.
you start running where you got nervous. You was like, oh Lord.
That's when I caught my Jonah vibes, you know what I'm saying? I started running and, you know, I felt the fish on my heels. He was hot on my trail, you feel me?
Mm.
Trying trying to swallow me up.
Come on now.
And
I,
yeah,
I
I
think
ran.
everybody go through some. I think everyone. I don't know about everyone. I can't speak for everyone, but I think there's always good to have some Jonah experiences. You know what I mean? Like, especially if you grow up in church, right? Because Lasagna always say this about, when you grow up in church, you grow up in religion, like the tradition
Yes, Jesus.
of church. You know what I mean? So either you're gonna figure out that the tradition ain't is just kind of maybe the first steps, you're on your own, or life kind of teach you
Yeah.
some different things that you
Like,
really need to have a relationship,
there you
So
go. Leon, you got to tell us, how did you know you were a comedian? Like, when did it
yeah.
click? Because sometimes you're just funny and you don't know it. Tell me what day it clicked, or was like, oh, okay. Yeah, you got to tell us that.
Um, I guess it's always kind of been there. I like to say things that were shocking and that would, and just all my life, my
You
aunt
knew it.
loved to tell this story about how when I was probably 3 or 4, and it was her, my grandmother, and my uncle, and we were all standing outside on the porch, and it was raining really hard, and they were looking, and I'm just out there with them. I love to be with the grown folks. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to be with the kids. I wanted to always be, with my grandfather or with some grown folks. Because they always seem to be talking about something relevant, something. You know what I'm saying? It was something spicy that I probably shouldn't have heard, but I was there to hear it. I was there for it. I was like trying to be quiet, but then wanting to jump in as well. But this particular time, it was raining, and they're like, "Whoa, it's raining so hard," and they were just kind of like, admiring. And I was like, "It's raining all over the Metroplex." They neck snapped. They looked at me, and I'm telling you, they got scared and went in the house, man. It was like, who is this little kid, and why is he talking about the Metroplex, and what is going on? I don't understand. Like, how does he even know that word?
Hey,
Like, get in this house. Get in this house.
get up in this house.
Yeah. So she loves to talk about how they were just so shocked and taken aback by that. But kids soak up whatever. If I'm in front of the TV, I'm soaking up the cartoons and I'm soaking up the news too. I'm soaking up everything that's on. You know what I'm saying? So I
Did you
heard the
have
weather say it that it's raining all over Metroplex. So I
All
got
over
it.
the
I,
Metroplex.
I took it from him and ran.
Okay.
So I mean, Dion, I did get to meet you in the marketplace, at the job, um, at the job place, and I remember, sitting there trying to work, and you back there telling jokes all day,
Yeah, man. I mean,
You
keeping
see
it
that?
lively,
You see
keeping
that?
it lively in there. Yeah, yeah. It was just never a dull moment when Dion was in the office.
there was a lot of jokes to be had. I mean, people come in there wearing stuff that they shouldn't have, and you knew that wasn't gonna pass. It
Mm.
might pass your boss, but I got you. I'm gonna let you
So
know.
So, piggybacking on Lasagna's question, when was your first comedy show? What was that like?
Whew. It was it was different. It was different. I felt like I could do it. You know what I'm saying? And I had some things that I wanted to talk about, and I said, I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go for it and get the mic. And Actually,
Where was this?
this was in Fort Worth at an event center. One of my friends, they had a show that they were putting on,
Mhm.
and I asked them if I could get up when they were doing their thing and tell a few jokes. And like, yeah, because I've written some stuff even for like school. A friend of mine, he ran for class president, and he said he kind of wanted to put on a show and not just do the typical candidate thing. And so I wrote a bunch of skits, kind of like in living color. You know what I'm saying? And they acted it out, and it went well. A lot of people were shocked.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Well, you ain't write no skits for us yet.
listen,
What's up with
I
that?
can
What's
I
up
got
with
these
that?
ideas in my head. I just like, I don't have the ability to, do the camera and do the editing and all of that. So I'm just like, I see it in my head the way I want it to go,
Mhm.
but I need somebody to help me behind the scenes, you know what I'm saying, to bring it to fruition.
Okay. Okay.
So,
I can go with that.
I can go with that too. And I got you. I got your back, man. I know how to do the editing
okay. All
and
right.
behind the scenes. So let's get the scripts going, man.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: like we've been doing the re-up for a while now. Think back over the shows, man, that we've done. What's been your favorite moment on the re-up so far?
Ah, woo! Hi, yeah, yeah. So many.
Yeah, we done got a lot of good moments. I was sitting there trying to think of my moments, and it was hard.
I mean, obviously the most controversial and the one you like to bring up is our
I don't like to bring it up.
Here we go.
I do not like to bring it up.
Yeah, you
Oh, we
do,
going
man.
back
We
there.
talking
I
about
feel it coming. I feel it coming. Not that one. Okay, there we go. You got to say it.
listen, that was a huge deal, man. That was hot for a lot of reasons. I mean, we ended up, this little kind of fledgling, station, and we got treated like VIP. You know what I'm saying? We went up there. We had like one of the premier tables. People was being ushered to our table. I was like, man, this is big, man. We on our way.
Mm,
We on our way. Here
mm,
we are, you know what I'm saying? These celebrities are coming to us. We're not having to go get them like some of these other people. They coming, they're being directed to our table, man. I
mm,
was like, man, this is hot. This is
mm.
hot.
So for those of y'all who haven't, y'all just joining us, y'all just joining the audience. What he's referring to is we went to North Carolina.
Mhm.
It's for the gospel extravaganza that they had. I don't even remember what year that was, but it was a stadium, a
Mhm.
football stadium full of people who had traveled from all over, and it was basically a music entertainment extravaganza. And
Mhm.
our show got invited out. We took the trip down there, and we were there for what, 2 days,
Mhm.
Three, something like that, yeah.
three days, yeah. Um, but yeah, that was some good times. So I'm glad he didn't go into detail about what I think his favorite moment is. I don't know why that would be his favorite moment, but
Yeah, you do.
I think he was saving that up for just for that meeting right there. Like, ooh, if I ever meet him,
Mhm.
I'm gonna start some trouble.
It's
I'm
okay.
just, I just wanted to put it out there. He the one took it and got all upset. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't on me. I wasn't upset when I approached him. I really wanted to know, like, how do you feel about
Now,
what you're doing? Because it's not right, sir. It's not right, and I need answers. And I'm sure people at home was thinking, you know what, that ain't right. You know?
Mm. Already. Already. Okay. Now we got that out the way. No, so when did you decide that in this arena, like when did you decide that you could do acting? Like what came first? Like the comedy, the acting, because I know you do acting, you do comedy. Like did it morph? You started doing this and it morphed into something else, or did you always know you had all of them? Like tell us which came first, like the acting, comedy, ministry, like what came first?
Um, they all kind of came together. I
Mm,
had a friend of mine. We used to always, act out different things. Like, what if this happened? What would you do? And we would act like we were this person or that person. And so
mhm,
a lot of that, came through us doing that. Um, but doing the comedy and even the acting is something where I came from. You didn't think you could do. Like I hadn't heard of anybody that was discovered in acting or comedy from Fort Worth, Texas. Like that
mm,
just you know. So
mm,
it was something that I dreamed about doing as far as that, but I always thought, when the time comes, I'm gonna have to move, from here to Hollywood or something like that, and try to pursue my dreams like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Be waiting tables and waiting on your opportunity, and
mhm.
get picked up like that. That was all I knew that as far as the road to making that happen. So that was my thoughts. I said I'll get started here, kind of take some classes, and then when the time is right, I'll move away from my family and my friends. Like Abraham did, and to a land that God was going to show me. So yeah.
I found the flyer for the
I
gospel
see.
extravaganza.
I
So it
see.
was 2014.
Wow.
Wow.
Man.
Of 10 years?
And the person that we was talking about, his picture is up here on this flyer too.
Yeah,
But
that's
I
all
ain't
right.
even, yeah.
Mhm.
But so Dion, and I guess I know this was kind of sprung on you, but what's next, man? What are some of your personal goals? What are some of the things that you're trying to knock out of the park right now?
I don't. It's for me, it's kind of a retooling time right now. I've had a lot of challenges that have come up for me personally here lately, and it's basically sorting and navigating through those things and making sure I'm in a good headspace to remain creative because as you come up, you have to definitely continue to keep fresh material and everything like that. So um, just not letting these situations that you face in life, which everybody kind of goes through, bog you down. And so
Yeah.
that's where I'm at mainly with that is trying to, keep my creative headspace clear so that I can, move forward with it.
That brings on another question for me. Then, how do you stay inspired? How do you stay in your gifting when challenges come come up in life? Like, how do you? What's your process for your inspiration and maintaining that?
I think you look at, and that's a lot of the reason why I don't like to go into a lot of the show previews early because I like to give my natural reaction to what we talked about, and I like to give my perspective like on the spot, and that way you get the most out of it. Because if it's a canned response, I'd feel like that people can kind of tell that, and so I like to be genuine in that regard. I like to face it and let my mind just kind of wrap around the whole idea of everything and go from there and let that third eye kind of take over.
Okay, okay.
Already.
So back to our audience real quick. That's Mr. Dynamite. That's AKA Bishop One Good Leg. That's Dion Miller. Y'all got questions for him? Y'all go ahead and just pop those questions in the chat. Maybe we missed something. Maybe it's something y'all want to know, want to get into, or whatever that Mr. Dynamite can share. You see how he is. He come right off the cuff. He come right off the top of the head. So you never know what you're gonna get.
Yes,
So
sir.
so
Yes,
be
sir.
calm. Be nice.
Say that. Say that.
Real careful.
So
Yes.
who's next? Who's next?
I'll go. I'll tell them about myself. Because since you the star of the show, I guess you get to go last. You know.
I ain't no star. I just keep things going. I'm the
name
smoke.
the show. He the host of the show. We just be helping him on the side. That's what we be doing.
That's it.
Yeah, that's all we do. We just co-host. We just be helping the host out. So I'm gonna go. He gonna take us on home because it's yes, sir. We halfway through. So I'll tell you. Starting off.
Let me ask. I gotta ask this question, right? Because my thought is when I've known Sonya, I actually think like when she came out of her mom, she was preaching. So like the level of wisdom, like I just feel like you just been walking with them from birth. So let's start there. Did you grow up in church? Did you what does that look like for you?
Yep, actually, yes. My grandfather was actually a pastor. My dad was a deacon, and we all had the family church. You know how that is. When they started the church and he got a bunch of kids, that's the whole church. He had 10 kids, and then they had wives, and then they got a bunch of kids. So hey, that's the church right there. So, but what I will say is, I was always a watcher. Like I remember my earliest memories of probably getting saved and really talking to God, probably around 7 or 8. And my mom used to give Bible studies at home, and she would tell us about all these stories in the Bible, and it fascinated me because, as a kid, you don't know. It's like, what? And so she would tell these stories, sit us around and tell us these Bible stories. My mom, theatrical like me. If you met me, you met my mom. We are totally, theatrical. So when she told us the Bible, she had all of this enthusiasm. I'm a mere replica of that woman. She write poetry. I write poetry. She funny. I'm funny. She would have a way with the Bible. That's me all day. Like when I do my stories on stage and people are like, dang, you act just like I say all day. Except people don't know my mom because I'm here in Texas and she in Indiana, but that's me all day. Just the personality, the giftings and the talents. And I always been like a watcher. I always watch. I study human behavior. Always have. I just watch people and how they do. And I learn people by studying. I just look at people, married people, single people, kids. I just always been curious about behavior. So I watch different behaviors. And being close to God, you had an inside track. Because I always knew stuff that I didn't know why I knew it. But God would just, he always talked to me. Even as a kid, I could hear his voice. And he would just be saying little things like stuff I wouldn't know. He'd be like, nope, that's not the truth. Like when people start talking to him, it's like, nope, that's not the truth. This is what it really is. I'd be like, well, why they say that? Don't worry about it. This is what it is. So I always had that extra gift, that inside track, that inside voice. He would always tell me things. And so that was I didn't appreciate it younger, but as I'm aging, I definitely appreciate it older. Because as a young person, why do I need to know that? Like, I want to be young. I want to be surprised with everybody else. But as I'm getting older, you need that inside track to make wise decisions and choices and help other people. Because sometimes you see other people's lives and you see a train coming and you be like, hey, this train is coming at 5 o'clock. It's going 500 miles an hour. I need you to jump off them tracks, please. And people looking at you, I don't see no train. And they dancing on the track. I said, I'm telling you, I see this train coming at 5 o'clock. So that's to sum it up. That's been about the story of my life. And I will say Texas was one of my highlights of my life coming down here, and how I got started memorizing my poems. I didn't always know I was funny. Like my family said I was funny, but I never really did comedy. I never did comedy before I got Texas. Never, ever, ever that I knew of. And so, but how my poems led me to comedy. I met a young man. He missed his bus. He was here from Canada or something. And I was taking the bus to church. It was when I first got here. And he was like, oh, it's something in your voice. And I had my book with me because I always carry a copy of my book. He was like, you need to memorize and get on stage. I said, He said, memorize them and get on stage. First thing I did, I went home from that night forward. It was 32 poems. I started memorizing them. And then the strangest thing showed, you might not know this, but Taurus, your friend Taurus, I memorized the poem and then honest to God, my hand in heaven, this is what happened. Never met him, didn't know nothing about him. He had on a black suit, and it was at the Potter's house in Dallas. And I heard the Spirit say, go up and recite that poem to him. And I'm like, I don't know that man. He gonna think I'm crazy. He kept telling, just go say it. Just go say that poem to him. So I had memorized the poem. I was like, oh man, this dude is finna, I don't know what he finna do. So I went up, I said, hey, can I share a poem with you? He was just as calm. Okay. I did the poem. He said, hey, I got an event Friday night. I need you to come do that same thing. That same poem, don't change nothing. Do that same thing Friday night. And mind you, Sunday. So he brought me to you. So that's how I met Shelton at our first event. That's probably over 14 years ago. Because JoJo was in the pamper about 14 years ago. But that's how it started. The young man on the bus told me to memorize it. I started memorizing it. I got the one I rehearsed, did it for Taurus. He brought me to you. And at that first event, Miss Vicky was there and said, oh, yeah, you're a comedian. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm just poems. Oh, no, you're a comedian. You can do what I do easy. So she took me around that same weekend, the next weekend, and took me to all these different events. And then she asked me, what you think I made? How long was I on stage? Out of all weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, then one night, 30 minutes. She said, I made $1,500 for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. You think that's a good job? I said, yeah, that's a pretty good job. She said, you got it. That's your job. That's what you can do. So every time she had to open Addison Improv, she'd see me in the audience, open up 5 minutes. You got it. I'm like, I don't know jokes. I just tell stories. She said, that's all you got to do. Get up there and tell stories. She said, that's all comedy is. You tell stories with a certain pizzazz that you got. So it's crazy how my life went and took. Yep, was that the very first event?
Yep. Yeah, one like, of them. We was in a
it was the early one. Hey, look at you. He was all trimmed. Look at him, Dion. You see him?
I see him.
I was about 50 pounds lighter.
He had more hair too.
I had some hair. I did have hair
on your head.
So let's back up for a second, because you're right. I didn't like so as far as poetry, the first time you performed poetry was at the J. Agape event?
That was the first time I ever performed in the stage for anybody, anywhere. I had memorized these poems because the young man told me, had something in my voice. And then when I went to church, God said, say this particular poem to this man in his black suit, which was Taurus. And I never met him, didn't know him. I had no idea. And he said, I have an event Friday night, say that same poem. That's how I met Taurus, and he took me to y'all. So that's how all that took off. And then got to your event doing poetry, and Miss Vicky there talk about I'm a comedian. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm just reciting some poetry. She said, you is funny. Like she told you, Sheldon, who's that comedian up there? And then you told me, I think.
Because by that time, so actually Miss Vicky, when we met Miss Vicky, we were at the Backbeat Cafe, right?
Okay.
By that time, and you were hosting.
Okay.
So I'm really shocked. First of all, because I thought you had been doing at least your poetry on stage like forever, because you was a natural, when you came to that, and it was so entertaining, it was so good. And I don't want people to overlook that piece of, like, how many times does someone get that thought where God is actually telling them to do something and they don't do it?
Oh man, it changed the trajectory of my life. That's how I met you, and all the connection with you, and all the events we put on, and all the other people we met, and how I connected to record those shows, put them online, and get events. Like most of the events I get booked on Facebook, Instagram. Hey, I hear you do comedy. I saw a couple of videos where you do a show. That's how I get a lot of my bookings. So that one event, that one thought, and I could have said, that man don't know me. I'm gonna look crazy. I thought all that. It's like, here we go. I said. And I just looked at him. I was like, he don't know me. I don't know nothing about him. Oh my Lord, he gonna think I'm crazy. He said, that same piece, Friday night, I got a show. Pick you up, or where you want to meet at, I need you to do that same show. And that's how I came there and met you. And at that event, he brought me to your event, and that's how I met you. And 14 years ago, been connected ever since. Like literally, that's how I started. That's the first poem I ever did on a stage. I never did any poetry in Indiana, but that was the first stage, all that practicing I did at home, that when I hit the stage, it was at your event, the first time I ever performed a poem live. Then
you started hosting.
Yep.
And we didn't do the introduction, but so I'll do a quick introduction. So Lasagna, just like Dion is a comedian. She's an author. She's we just touched on the fact that she's a poet. She's an actress. She's a host. just again a jack of all trades. That's why I'm not the superstar on this stage for real. 'Cause when we get to me, I got like I got like two talents, and that's just.
And look, you only need one. Look, that's it.
But that's so interesting, and that's inspiring. You know what I mean? Like again, I think a lot of people miss that opportunity because they just, they their spirit is telling them to do something, and because it's so outside of what they would normally do, or
Oh God, yes.
Different from what they were doing, they just don't execute on that, and I feel like those are missed opportunities. But God's grace is like this. Like He gives you more chances.
I don't even know where I would be if I never met. If He didn't tell me to say that to Him that day, and not meeting you, just all the adventures that we've been on, all the different programs, like us with radio, like all the years, all the fishbowl, the What Would Jesus Do Now, WJS Now, like everything we did, like that one event, that one encounter opened up so many other doors. I don't know, what would happen if I didn't do it, but I can see what did happen because I did do it. It was just one act. And I'm going to tell you right now, people, I thought it was the craziest thing ever. He never met me. This is my first, second year being in Texas. Didn't know him at all. He didn't know me. And God said, go up to that man in that suit and recite this. And I had memorized a few of them. He even told me which one to do. Get that particular poem and say it to him. I'm like, man, I walked around. I watched. He was doing something, picking up some paper. I'm not sure what he was doing, but I watched him for a minute. I was trying to see if I could read his spirit, see if he was going to say, girl, if you don't get out of here.
But so I want to back up for a second because I do know part of this. Like, can you share a little bit of how you got to Texas? Because it was another moment of like,
oh man, like literally, I've been here 16 years, and I'm gonna be quite transparent with y'all. I jumped on a bus, got down here. I didn't have nowhere to stay. I didn't have no job, didn't have no car, didn't absolutely know nobody, no nothing. I had a word. That's all I had. It didn't even say get to Texas. He told me to get to the Potter's house. I did not know the Potter's house was in Texas. I had to look it up online to figure out that it was in Texas. And I said, oh God, thank you. Because if it was in New York or somewhere else, I'm from the cold. I said, God, I don't want to be disobedient. But I promise if it's somewhere cold, we're going to have to do this. Man, I said, I ain't never been to Texas. I don't know nobody in Texas, but it's the South. It got to be warm. It got to be warm. So I got, and a matter of fact, I called my brother in Nashville because I didn't, this how much, nothing I got down to. He gave me $87 one-way ticket. My brother was in Nashville. He said, I'm going to buy you a one-way ticket. Now, mind you, I got no job I'm going to, got no car, nowhere to live, and never met nobody. By myself, on a bus, $87 one-way ticket from my brother in Nashville. And my sister took me to the bus stop because I was in Atlanta because I didn't want to go here from Indiana because I didn't want my parents to worry. I knew what God told me, but when your parents are living, you see how little I am. You got 120-pound little bitty woman telling me she finna go somewhere she ain't never been and ain't nobody there. They're going to have some problems. So I was like, don't tell the parents. Don't tell them nothing. I'm going to do what I need to do and I'm going to be okay. And then my sister took me to the bus stop. And she said, hey, I'm really concerned. Are you going to be okay? This is what I told her. Honest to God, my hand in heaven is what I told her. I said, hey, you see the sun, moon, stars, and how everything is this? God spoke to something that never existed, and it became what He told it to be. He said, let there be light. Light never was until God said, let there be light. Molecules got together to figure out what God said to be what He said it to be, and it's still doing it. I said, if He said that to the light is still there, He spoke to me and told me to go there. I'm going to be okay because I got His word that's still sustaining them lights that He spoke to from the foundation of the world. His word powerful. He told me to go there, so I'm going to be okay. And she was like, that's all I need. Okay, go ahead. And honest to God, I was nervous as I could be. And I literally took my one suitcase and went to the Potter's house. It was a Wednesday. And this lady drove by me, true story. And she drove back with my big one suitcase on my way to the Potter's house church physically. She said, you're going to think I'm crazy, but God told me to pick you up. I said, you're going to think I'm even crazier. I don't know where I'm going to go. Went to church. After church was out, she came back up to me, same lady. She said, I know you're going to think this is crazy. God told me to take you home with me. I said, you're going to think this crazy. I didn't know where I was going to go home to tonight. Literally, true story, honest to God, my hand to heaven. That's what happened.
Wow.
Literally, with my suitcase, get to the potter's house. I take God literal. If you tell me something, I don't know how to read between the lines. You get to the pot, take your suitcase, go into the pot's house. You'll figure it out when you get there. I didn't know that lady was going to pick me up because I told the lady drive. I saw a car drive by me because I literally called the bus up the hill because it didn't even go to the pot's house. They dropped you off down the hill, and then I had to take my suitcase down the hill and go to the pot's house for the Wednesday night Bible service. Then she drove by me, and then she drove back by it. Then she stopped. She's like, man, I know you're going to think this is so crazy, but God told me to pick you up. And so she picked me up, and after church, she said, I know you're going to think this crazy. He told me, take you home. Like, literally. That is a true story. And my baby sister was on the phone with me every day because she was like scared to death. She was like, oh, this is the most faith I ever seen in my life. What's going on today? Every day was an adventure. What's going on today? You got somewhere to stay? What you going to do? All the while trying to keep it from my folks because I didn't want them to worry. But I knew I was going to be okay. Like, literally, I just knew I was going to be okay because I knew God said it. If I thought of it, I might have been nervous, but I know the power of a word. If God tell you something, you can hang on to it. You can cash that check every time. You can hang on to it for dear life. It's going to work out. And 16 years later, I ain't never been outdoors. I never had to stay at the homeless shelter, even though I was prepared. I was like, well, if you got to go to the shelter, you just got to go to the shelter. You're going to work it out. But I just didn't have to. So I'm telling you, God is powerful. That's how I literally got to Dallas, Texas, off a word. And the word sustained me, like literally. I'm serious. No job, no car. I had the bus. I rode the bus the first 3 years I got here. Literally rode the bus the first 3 years I got here. Mm-hmm.
Dion, what kind of questions you got for?
I bet there's some stories from that bus, man.
Oh God!
I know people get on that bus and get to talking crazy and acting crazy.
Now let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all. I rode the bus 3 years, and when I got here, I thought Dallas had the best transportation system in the world. I really literally did. Until my brother, my oldest brother, came here to visit me. This is what he said. He was like, sis, you're not paying attention. I said, what? Them people is talking until you get on the bus. When you get on the bus, everybody calm down. I said, I thought that the bus system was the best. I rode the bus 2 years now. So he ain't been here yet. So when he gets here, he on the bus trip with me. I was like, we going on the adventure together because he didn't have his car. So I was like, we all going to be on this adventure together. He said, them people are talking until you get on the bus. I said, what you say? I said, all these years I had a delusion. I was in a fairy tale. I thought Dallas, I was like, boy, this is the best transit system. These people so nice and sweet. Everybody just be quiet and calm. He said, no, sis, that's you. You're not paying attention. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I still thought it was the best transportation in the world. I had no idea it was me.
That's crazy.
I'm serious. No people be quiet. No people wasn't fighting. I said, man, Dallas got a nice transportation. And let me tell y'all what else. I thought the trains was free. I didn't know you had to pay to get on a train because I ain't never rode on a train in Indiana. So these people be riding, and I thought you used to jump on the train. I didn't know you had to pay for the train. I knew you had to pay for the bus. I didn't know you had to pay for the train. Till the police started coming through one day. I was like, I wonder what he doing. And so he started asking people for their ticket. I said, now, this is what I thought. I said, man, the taxpayers, they treat them good. They let them ride these trains free. Because if you just go up to the train station, depending on where you catch it at, it wasn't no attendance there. I'm from Indiana. We ain't got no trains. I don't know. I know you pay for the bus, pay for the bus. So I ride the train. I said, man, that is so nice. The taxpayers just paying for these trains. And I'm just on these trains, just riding these trains. To that police down there asking about them tickets. I said, now why is them people, what they showing him? And so when the man got to me, he just looked and he went on by me. And so I said, I probably better go and buy me a ticket next time and figure out how this train stuff really works because he had to pay for their ticket. And so after
that'd been my luck. He would have pulled me over and
ain't fair. But favor is real. I'm telling y'all. I said, this is so nice. They got these taxpayers paying all this taxes, and they just got these people these nice trains. They nice too. Yeah, I think that wasn't free. That ain't what that was. Yeah, I did not get that. That ain't what that was. So I said, oh, okay. I learned quick though. I learned quick. I got that ticket after that. I just thought I just jumping on and off the train. I was just having a good old time. I thought this is so nice.
So I got the same question I asked Dion. Like, what's been your favorite moment or interview so far?
I'll tell you the truth. It's not really for me, but it's my favorite watching it. That same event that Dion's talking about, when Shelton, you said of all the people in the world you want to interview, who would you want to interview? And you told us Fred Hammond. And I said, okay, we're going to get Fred Hammond to our table. When Fred Hammond showed up at our table and he was your one of all-time favorite persons that you wanted to interview, that made my day because it made your day. It's like, this is really what you wanted. You said of all the interviews in the world, if I could interview anybody in the world, it would be Fred Hammond. So when Fred came to our table, I was so excited. I said, we getting Fred. You remember what I said that?
Yeah, I do.
I said, oh, we getting Fred. He coming to our table. You said, well, he got to pick. I said, oh, he coming to our table. Because
he pulled up in a golf cart, didn't
he? Yeah.
Yeah, he pulled up in a golf. And you know what else? Fred busted me out. When I meet him for real again, I'm gonna have to talk to him about that. I said, y'all, Fred just got here in his limo. He said, no, I didn't. I'm just on this golf cart. I said, Fred, it's radio. They don't see you. Can you let me have my moment? he gonna steal the whole show. He said, oh no, this just a golf. I said, it's radio. They don't see us. Can you let me have this moment where you're getting out the limo? Yeah, but that was one of my favorites because when you said it, I said, oh, we getting Fred. Yeah, he gonna come up here. And it was amazing. She said, Fred gonna do 3 tables, 3 only. And he picked our table first. Did he pick our table first?
Yeah, yep. I think so. Yeah.
And she said, he wants y'all. And so it was 3 of us. And I was like, oh, he came to our table. I said, all right, then. I said, look, Sheldon, got your gift, your favorite person of all time. And we got him. So that made my day because of what you said. I said, oh, we getting him. If you want, oh, he here, oh, we getting Fred. See, people don't know I am crazy. I believe you need to have crazy, stubborn faith. If you want something, you just got to say it and keep standing on it. Sheldon say you want Fred? I said, Fred coming to our table. Well, we got to see. I don't care what they say. Fred coming to our table. You want Fred? Fred is here. Fred coming to our table. Fred came to our table. It's in and all these people. Now you have to remember, to our audience who wasn't there, how many vendors were there? How many other radio people, personalities were there? Like I guesstimate 30, 20, 30. And Fred only
40 is what popped in mind. 40, 50.
40 or 50 different radio stations. And Fred was only
all over America. Yeah.
From all over America. And they said, Fred's only going to do 3 interviews. And they say, that's all he said. He said, he'll do 3. He's not going to do everybody. I said, he's doing ours. And Sheldon said, Sheldon, you want Fred? We're going to do Fred. Fred coming to our table. And I said, Fred did our table. Not only did he come, but he did our table first. And I said, so that was one of my all-time favorites because of what you said, because you wanted to see him, who's your all-time favorite gospel artist in the world. So when that happened, that's my favorite.
He was mine too, and I definitely wanted it too. So we was all in agreement on that. We crossed the board on that part of it. So no doubt.
Oh yeah, if I want something, I put my mind on. I said, nope, that's what Sheldon and Fred. We getting Fred. It's your favorite of all time people. He in this building. He coming to our table. And that lady came back to us. She said, guess what? Fred said he doing 3. He doing y'all first. And I said, there you go. Only thing I ain't like, he didn't let me have my limo moment. I said, y'all, Fred just pulled up in the limo. He said, oh, it's just a golf cart. I said, Fred, it's on the radio. They don't see. Can you let me have my limousine moment? It's Fred Hammond.
Yeah, Fred don't jump out of golf carts. He pulls up in limousines.
Yeah, and I tried to be all, I thought we was going to be bougie with Fred. And he going to say, he slowed down there. No, just a golf cart. I just jumped on off the golf cart. So that was awesome. So I will honestly say that was my favorite because of what you said before we got there. You wanted Fred and to interview Fred. So that was like the highlight of all the years together.
So same question for you. Like what's next? Like what do you see yourself doing?
Actually, let me see. I'm working on these I'm working on a third book. Actually, I got these two books that I do. I should put it up. Let me see. I got one of them right here. No, you can't see it because I got that old funny screen on. That's all right. Okay, from my heart to yours, and the issues of life. So I got those two books. I'm working on the third one, and actually, I'm working on a pilot this summer. They want to shoot a sort of a. I don't want to. It's a show, not necessarily a TV show, but it's kind of a different type of pilot. They're shooting some type of show. So shoot it in July. See where to go. If it take off, it'll be kind of a full-time position, maybe full-time, part-time, so to speak, but it'll be paid. So they're going to pitch it to the different networks. So we're going to try to work in on that and working on more stages and getting this third poetry out and trying to see how the best marketing and get them sold. That's what we got to do now. We just got to get them sold. Got to get it out there. So I'll be excited about I like poems. I like the stage because I like bringing joy to people's hearts. When I see people change colors part of a show to the end, that makes my day. When I get on stage, I read the room and I can see people's spirits when they lift up. So if I took a part in them coming up even a little, it makes me feel like my life is valuable and I did something in the earth for all the air that I breathe, that I'm bringing joy to somebody's life or spreading God's love through my gift. Because whenever I get on stage, I always fast and pray. Now, people don't know that. They think you're just funny, you just jump up. I never hit a stage before I fast and pray before I get up there because I don't know who's coming in that room. I don't know what they need. I cannot take it for granted that I'm going to see them again. I can't take it for granted that this might not be their last time or even my last time. So I have to give it all I got and pray that they felt some type of love from the gift that God gave me to give it back to him by giving it to his people. That is my ultimate number one goal with everything I do, that you feel love. You feel the love of God, that you are valuable, and I brought joy in some kind of way to your life. That's my motto. That's what I want to be known for. That's what I want to do with my gift. So that's what I see me doing. Moving forward. Yep, I love it.
You got any more questions, man?
Look at Sheldon. Sheldon wrong. It's 7:52.
Let
the time run out.
Out his life. He think he's
say you don't want to talk. Don't play it like that, Sheldon. Don't play it.
Yeah, he wrong for that. He did it too, because I saw him. He kept dragging out. Well, yeah, son, let me ask you this, man. And I'm looking at the clock. Oh, yeah, we almost done. I ain't gonna say nothing.
He's slick one.
Oh, yeah, he's trying to be slick, but guess what we finna do for these last few minutes?
Oh, okay, what are we about to do?
Sheldon and Seaworth, you got to talk to us. He is a visionary for J Agape. He have a platform to bring Christian entertainment in a major way. Anything you got that's entertainment that you feel called to, you're a Christian, he wants to give you a platform to do it. He's the CEO and founder of J Agape, the founder of the Re-Up, and I just need him to tell us how he got this dream, J Agape, to give us all a platform to do what we love to do. Because without you, we wouldn't have a show. I wouldn't have been on that stage. So don't play him short. He's the founder and CEO of the platform that I be performing on many days. So come on. Tell us how you got started with J Agape now.
Okay. So it goes back to my life in Virginia. So I'm a transplant here to Texas, from Virginia. I remember I used to go to a church. It's called Calvary Revival in Virginia, right? So it's still there. Really, really good church. The pastor is Courtney Macbeth. And we used to have these like young adult like Fridays or something like that once a month, where they would, basically rent out a little facility, a hall or something like that. And then they would just play like Christian music. And so, I know I've shared, part of my testimony on some of our previous shows on how I love music. I've always been around music, always been connected, or trying to stay abreast of what the new music was. But it was on the secular side of things. So it wasn't really gospel. It wasn't, I think the only gospel music I had really heard, if it wasn't out in church, like in an actual like gospel song, was Kirk Franklin. Like, that was around the time when they was playing Kirk Franklin in the clubs and stuff like that. So that was pretty much what I knew about Christian music that was could be played outside of church or elsewhere as well. You know what I mean? So I remember going there and thinking that this was really a good opportunity, a good middle ground for people to, meet God, because, you can invite people to come to these events and things like that. It wasn't really a church, necessarily event or a church religious, thing per se. Even though at the end of the night, we always would pray and ask people if they would want to, give their lives to Christ. But throughout the whole evening, you would just be, dancing, having a good time and socializing. So that was when I first started thinking about something like J Agape. I was like, it would be so awesome, for, something that Christians could go to, one, and not, have to compromise their beliefs, or compromise, what they're doing all the time, being tempted, and all that kind of stuff. But, again, not necessarily be a church environment. And I started seeing that it was an opportunity because people like me who didn't even know like Christian hip hop or Christian music, existed like that I would like. It was a way to kind of introduce me to something that was a little bit, better, for my spirit. So, content wise, what I mean? So that was the beginning of it. That was when I first, when God first kind of inspired me to do something like J Agape. And then I had my Jonah moment. I didn't run away because of that, but I did have some, personal things happen in my life. I went through, my first separation from my first wife, and later a divorce. And me coming to Texas, it was not like Lasagna's coming to Texas. I actually thought I was running away from, the life that I had in Virginia, or that I felt lacking. Now that I wasn't married and two of my, sons were in a different state, so I made that move for a completely different reason. Nobody in my family has moved this far west. Not that I know. Nobody, my brother, sister, everybody still lives back east. So I just thought, ain't nobody gonna know me here. I could just I could just do, restart. They offered me a good paying job. It just kind of happened at the same time, and I took that leap, and now I'm here. And so yeah, that was my Jonah experience, Dion. So
Right.
most of my content that I get to share now is because of that. Because before that, I was kind of sheltered. I grew up in church pretty much. I started going to church when I was like 8. Was my first memory. I got saved at a Boy Scout meeting.
Come on now.
My pastor was the actual Boy Scout troop leader, and that's why I said I can remember the church. I can't remember the church, but I remember him. I will always remember his name. It was Pastor Hayward. But he was the troop leader at the Boy Scouts, and I was going there, and he told us about Jesus, and I was drawn to it. I got excited about it, and I actually brought him back to my house so he could tell my mama about it, and that was her connection, and from that point on, I remember her always listening in church or in somebody's church. From that point on. So
your mom got saved because of you. It wasn't your mom raising you up in church. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I bought the pastor back to the pastor of the house, and she probably gonna get mad at me because she was like, "I'll be bringing people to my house
Okay. Now that's how I grew up too.
unannounced."
There's 8 people in this house, 3 girls and 3 boys, my mom and daddy. And nobody need no company. Y'all each other's company. So I get it.
Yeah, but
Man, awesome.
yeah, so that was, grew up, and but even then, from that all the way up to, I would say, about 21, 22 was the business of church, or the tradition of church, the religion, the baseline, I would say. And all, the church that I mentioned earlier, Calvary Revival, we were a member of that church already. I was a member of that when I was a teenager. But I had the wild hair when I got old or older, 21, 22, was, I need to go through membership classes and kind of learn things for myself. And that was kind of my first experience, which, really, really, that church, in order for you to join the church, and I think a lot of churches should probably enact this, but we had to really, we had to go through a year-long Bible study class. Yeah. And
nice.
you only can miss like 3 weekends. So it was always a Sunday evening type class. And if you miss more than 3, then you have to start all over. So I actually did it 2 years in a row. So a lot of what I know about scripture probably happened baseline back then, because you got a scripture memorizing and just reading and just really kind of studying the different concepts, in the Bible. So I really appreciate, having to kind of go through that. And my favorite moment, and this is one of the things that one of my favorite characters in the Bible is Solomon. And one of the reasons why, like I kind of touched on, my last year or so at that church was towards the end of my first marriage. And, I still kept trying to push through and go to church, and to really, be connected to church. But I felt, and I'm just going to be honest with everybody, transparent, I felt angry because I was praying that my marriage would last. I was praying that, my family wouldn't be, taken from me. And when she decided to leave, I actually I realized now I got mad at God. I was like, why you didn't answer my prayers? Like, why
you charge God up?
I charge God up, right?
Yeah, we didn't done that before. Now, Dion, you may not have, but I know I did that before. I'm sorry now, but I done it. I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Yeah, man.
I know better now. I know better now.
And but I'll tell you this, I think, because whenever you charge God up, he's gonna answer. He's gonna respond.
Oh yeah, because he ain't no coward.
Yeah. And I think that was the beginning stages of a relationship with him outside of religion, because he let me wild a little bit. He allowed me. He put me in a little protective bubble, and he let me get a little rope and go out there and experience some things that I probably hadn't experienced before, and just really see how I was, and so I could have something to compare it to. You know what I mean? Like when you grow up in church, it's a good thing that you are, kind of protected from the things of the world, but you also are kind of naive to how the world operates and how people operate, and wolves and like Lasagna said, like, just studying people, right? And so, when you don't have that experience sometimes, then you really don't know everything. It's kind of hard for you to see, how much God is really doing in your life and doing for you, compared to what we think the world can do for us. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's kind of the short of where J Agape came from. after I had my little stage of wilding out and doing different things, God got my attention again.
Mm-hmm.
Like very like to only know that this is God talking type way. You know what I mean? And it was like, okay, like I gave you this idea some years back, and I let you soak, I let you feel sorry and experience some different things, but I need you to do what I've asked you to do, and so um, got remarried.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of y'all have met my lovely wife. Um, and the very first year we got married is the very first year we did our J Agape event. It was actually on my birthday. She asked me what I wanted for my birthday gift, or what kind of party I wanted, and something like that. And I was like, I want to do a J Agape event. And um, one day maybe I'll let her tell the story because she she was like, okay. I don't know if she knew it was going to lead to a lot of the stuff and a lot of the things that we've done over the years, and sacrifices, the things that we've decided to do to kind of put this platform in place. But she could tell that this was something that was really near and dear to my heart. And so I care about the church and unifying the church and people coming together and working together. I think that people who are gifted and talented, like Lasagna and Dion, need a platform outside of just the church. I was talking to someone the other day about what J Agape is, and I was explaining to him that if you go to church, you can experience somebody like Dion, you can experience somebody like Lasagna, but people out in the world, which God has called us to go out and reach and disciple, like I did, they don't even know the Christian comedians exist sometimes. They don't even know the music is awesome. They don't, they just think they think of church in a certain light, or they think of the church, and I don't mean the building, but the people in church in a certain light that we've painted over centuries, generations. And I believe God wants to really paint a different picture of who He is, through the church. So that's kind of my rock with J Agape.
Awesome. Now y'all have met all three of us. I want to say something. I believe everybody's important. If you listening to this, you go back and hear it another day. Whenever you hear this broadcast, you'll hear it whenever. I listen to God tell me to go up to one man to say something. Shelton had the platform already established, a place for me to hone in on my gift. I used to talk real fast. You get on the stage doing too much, and then I got to slow down, not be so nervous because of his platform. God told me to do one thing, to meet him, but God had a place prepared for me to hone my gift in because he did what God told him. If you listen to this, whenever you hear this, do what God tell you to do, because you don't know who's waiting on you to give them a position and a place to do what God already put in you. I didn't have a platform, but I had to give. I had the platform and I had the gift. Dion got the gift. The reason you see us on the radio, this is Shelton's idea. And the platform that he gave me to exercise a gift that God gave me helped me be better at what I do. So when I go places now, I look at the clock, they tell me 5 minutes. I can get my story in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. I've honed it where I don't have to go over. I don't have to be behind. I get the timing down, the timing with my poetry, not going as fast with my comedy and letting it slow down, because they told me I used to run over my jokes. Let the people just laugh. You just killing them. Slow down and breathe. But it's because I had a place to practice. But I got the gift from God. Do what God put inside of you, because we all interconnected in a strange kind of way. We all are connected as the body of Christ in some kind of way. His platform, my gift, Dion's gift. You, everybody listening to me, you got something God put inside of you that he's telling you to do, and probably been telling you to do it. you might be waiting on Shelton or waiting on me, but you need to do what God tell you to do so we can get to these stages and bless these people. So
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to say.
And I think that's so key. The Bible puts it this way: obedience is better than sacrifice. You know?
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna be transparent. I don't always have that together. You know what I mean? Like God is asking, He asks us to do stuff, and like Lasagna said, sometimes it's like, what? You want me to do X, Y, and Z? And I'm learning to have that level of faith. And here's the good thing about it, right? What Lasagna just described, like me meeting Dion at work and Lasagna story and this platform, like you don't know when God is asking you to do something, it may not even just be for you. Matter of fact, most likely, if God is asking you to do it, it's not just for you. It's there to touch more than the people in your family. It's there to touch more than the people in your inner circle. It's when God's doing something, it's usually a big thing. And you can see that example throughout the Bible. When he was talking to Moses about, Abraham about having a kid, like he was saying a nation.
Yes,
you know
sir.
what I mean? And Abraham he thinking, I'm just having a kid.
Yes,
like that's going to be a miracle in itself. But a whole nation is going to come out of it. So,
wow.
When you put things in perspective and you really just understand that, like, we think God is asking us to do things because he's like some tyrant and he just wants us to do it the way he's doing. He has all of time in his hand. He can see all of how things work and fit together and what interactions need to happen and what people, need to meet each other and how to make that happen, and if you're a Christian, if you're a believer for sure, you have to understand and start learning that we got to be obedient. Like whatever he say, do it. Make sure it's him. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of stuff we put on him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here's the good thing about it, he'll confirm it. Like if it ain't clear to you or you think you still, a little wavering, right? He gonna confirm it for you. He gonna let you know I said X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? And when you do it, just watch and see what happens. So I think, definitely as a church, as a body, we have to be better at that. We have to really, that's what does the Bible say? Faith without works is dead. Like the works is you being obedient to what he's telling you to do. Like if you say you have faith, you say you believe in what he's saying, then you move the way and how he says move, basically.
Yes, sir. That's all right there.
You good, Dion?
This was a good show. Now they got to meet the cast. That's us.
They got to meet us. So again, like Lasagna said, I don't know when the people are going to all see this, but if you got questions, you got comments that you want to ask either one of us, just go ahead and drop that in the comments. If there's topics
that you want to hear,
that you want to hear about, and real quick before we go, I did pull up like a memory, kind of a list of different things. See what that kind of. And I brought up some of the pictures. Let's see.
You done went on back.
Wow.
I think I'm still the same little with all that forehead. Lord have mercy.
we got Lasagna here. This was at Fishbowl Radio Network. Anita Jarrell, gifted psalmist.
Yes.
Psalmist. Spent a lot of time with her. Yeah, I can't leave you out, man.
Come on now.
Uh-oh.
Can't leave you out, Dion.
Come on. Oh, that's Big Fred in the back. Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
rest in peace, Fred Williams,
Yeah.
another gifted singer. I mean, anytime we had anything going on,
Anything.
Fred was trying to be
In the,
connected to it. I mean, he was behind a lot of the music that we hear today.
mhm.
Just to really get the thing. But you see Dion always rocking these ball caps. Dion, you ain't changed much, man.
Okay.
No,
You just
no,
don't crack. Huh?
Hey,
Black don't crack, huh?
looking the same.
yeah, man. Yeah, man. You know, I let my yes be my yes and my no be my no. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. This is a another favorite moment. Oh, Dietrich Haddon.
D
Yep.
Hattie.
D had it.
D Haddon.
I
Let's
look
see
sweaty.
here.
Oh, Norris.
At Norris J. Now Norris look really thin here.
Yeah.
Ah, this is
And
good.
we got Will Odom.
Yeah,
And I
Will
believe his rapper name was Devion.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what I was doing with this
Oh,
this scarf on.
it was cool outside. That's all. Yeah, it was a
Must
little
have been
cool.
cool.
You see everybody got on the jacket. You see that other young man. Yeah, that's all. Mm.
Here we got Travis Pratt
Mm-hmm.
and Eric Kahn. This was actually at the Sharky Awards.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just really want to shout out Fishbowl Radio Network. We did a lot with Fishbowl Radio Network.
Yeah.
And really appreciate that platform, and it's still going really, really strong. So, Sammy put together a really good thing there.
Mm-hmm.
Who we got here? This is Percy. Was it Percy Brady?
Oh, yeah. Down with the
Yeah, he's standing there in the middle.
uh-huh.
Got Lasagna, myself, and that's Marcus Kidd back there.
Kid in the back singing.
Uh-huh. Apostle Vera Howard.
And that's just reading.
Jessica Reedy. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
We got to get Apostle Vera Howard back up here because she in the TV show business now. She's been acting and stuff.
She doing it now.
I want to know how that's been working for her.
Okay.
Now we got Big Husky in there.
Oh,
Dalen Collins, the Johnsons.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I just wanted to kind of take us down memory lane again.
Mm-hmm.
This is when we our first episode of the TheReuPLive was actually a live, performance type show, studio show.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go check it out? Just go to our page. It's like one of the first YouTube videos that we have up here. So I appreciate y'all for entertaining us tonight, letting us reintroduce ourselves to some people and introduce ourselves to other people. Hopefully you got an opportunity to kind of hear our hearts about things and why we do what we do. Where we get some of our wisdom from. It ain't, we talk about what we know, not necessarily what we think.
Okay.
So always appreciate that. And so we'll be back here next week. Hey, look, one more time, comment if you got any questions. If you are an artist, a Christian artist, a singer, and you want us to kind of share your testimony and share your story with us, we definitely want to hear about it. So, reach out to us, DM us, either one of us, and we'll get things set up for you.
All right.
Talk show where we're kicking it